If you lived how you lived today for the rest of your life, would you be happy? If the answer to that question is no, then you must change something, because nothing changes if nothing changes. Too many people around me have problems with productivity, motivation, procrastination, their sleep, and because of they have problems with sleep, they fuck up their energy, focus, and they have so much brain fog every single day. All of these problems can be fixed. It's just that no one in school, the school wasn't even designed to teach you how to fix problems like these. This video, I will outline a absolutely brutal protocol for you to fix all of these problems literally all at once. So if you truly want to change your life, treat this video as attention span training and just fucking keep this video on full screen, stop scrolling down to the comments or looking at the suggested videos, and just fully focus on the words I'm saying. Over the past few months, I fell into a rut. Before, I was completely free from literally all bad habits until I fell back into a rut. And this time, getting myself out of this rut, I documented every single step of the way. I know all the steps you need to take to get from like fucking ruined life to zero bad habits. Around 2 years ago, I was just an average person who had video game addictions just like everyone else. And it was around this time when I finally learned about a dopamine detox. Now, at that time, I used to always play with this friend. Like, the specific game I used to play was Brawl Stars, and I was so fucking addicted to that game. And throughout the entire gap of time, I was completely locked in, had zero bad habits, never played video games once, until I fell back into the rut again. And I took this opportunity to go back and talk to my old friends who I used to play video games with. You know what this guy said? This guy said, all this time, he's just been focusing on school. You know, throughout this entire period of my life, all the things I've done, I've listed it all here, right? I fixed my sleep schedule. I started going to the gym, so I got way stronger and I physically look way better. I'm literally not disabled anymore. I study 10 times faster. I fixed my entire health inside out, fixing my diet. I actually eat healthy now. I almost completely fixed all my fucking acne. I started reading a shit ton of books. I literally have a list of 50 books read or something, right? I built an actually respectable friend group. And best of all, I built a fucking YouTube channel with 5,000 subscribers. Now, 5,000 isn't crazy, but most people don't even get there. All of this time, when I was on a dopamine detox, I did all that, and my friend just focused on school. I'm telling you that story to make you realize just how different this lifestyle is compared to the average person. And you need to know that if you're not on a dopamine detox, you are gonna get out fucking competed hard, bro. Here's a list of different things that you'll get from following this brutal protocol, okay? So you're probably gonna 3 times your productivity. I'm not even joking. You're probably gonna forever quit procrastination. You learn probably 2 times faster. Plus, realize that you're just wasting less of your time, because life is just another game, just as all the other games in the virtual world. And if you waste all your time on these things, you're wasting the true time that truly matters, which is life. You also very, very significantly reduce your brain fog and fix your attention span. But now here are the true, real benefits, right? Number 1, for the next few days, you will constantly feel happy. If you forever have felt shit, you don't even know what feeling good feels like. And this is why you need to hop on this protocol. You don't even know what these benefits even mean, okay? So you're gonna probably escape the fucking sleep deprivation cycle that I swear every single student has. I've talked to so many other people in my school, and all they say is, yeah, bro, I slept 5 hours last night, 6 hours, or 4 hours last night. Bro, are you fucking serious? Is this the way you want to live for the rest of your life? Fucking fix your sleep. And this protocol will actually help you out so much with this. Finally, you'll have infinite motivation. I'm sure everyone wants this benefit. If you think that this is too good to be true, you don't even believe that all the things I promise you will get, you don't even know what living like a real human feels like. I need to really ask you this question. Are you truly listening to the words I'm speaking? Or are you just passively sitting there in your chair, watching something else, doing something else in the moment, and just trying to like passively memorize the words I'm saying? Because there's a big fucking difference between the way you sit in school and just passively try to memorize what the teacher tells you to do versus actually sitting there and listening and grasping it and relating it to your true knowledge, right? We've been trained for so many years, just the fastest way to get through school, because we all hate it, is to just sit there and try to memorize as much as possible from the teacher instead of truly understanding and grasping what they say. This video, I want you to actually fucking listen. I don't want you to memorize the things I say. I want you to truly resonate with the words I'm speaking. And if you truly do so, I guarantee you I will change your life forever for the better. Now this section will be for people who have never ever heard of a dopamine detox before. If you already know what a dopamine detox is, you can kind of skip this section. If you're watching this, you're probably thinking like, why is it even a good thing to have 0 bad habits? Well, shouldn't we enjoy life? Shouldn't we do things that are actually fun? I want you to know that you've been brainwashed by school for so long to think that you should wait for things to happen. Let me tell you, nothing happens if nothing fucking happens. If you don't change a single thing in your life, nothing will ever change. You need to start seeing life through an absolute responsibility perspective where you are absolutely responsible for 100% of the things around you. I want you to stand up and go to a mirror right now and look at your face. You are absolutely responsible for whoever is behind that fucking mirror, right? That means you're fucking responsible for the acne on your face, for your fucking chopped haircut that I used to have, right? For fucking dry lips, all these fucking problems that you kind of put off because you're waiting for someone else to solve it for you. These problems are your own. And it's not just the way you look, it's the way you feel, your health, your physical abilities. Everything in your life is your responsibility. The way you feel right now, if you're not happy with your life, no one's gonna help you solve that for you. And on that topic of not being happy, how do we fucking be happy in this world? I think the absolute best way is to improve every single aspect of your life because you genuinely feel fulfilled. If you love playing video games like I used to do, just realize that, look, every game gets more fun the better you are at it. Imagine playing a game, but you're buns at it. You're not gonna have fun. But if you were the best person in the entire world at that game, you would have so much fun. Life is a game. And so if you get better at life, if you get better at every single aspect of your life, it just becomes fun. And the thing is, life is the only game that truly matters because everyone's participation is mandatory. Whereas Brawl Stars or fucking Clash Royale, not everyone needs to play that game. Like you can easily find someone who doesn't play that game. If the entire world was playing that game, sure. Okay, but the entire world is not playing those fucking games. It doesn't even matter. And also, life is the only one that truly matters. You feel the things, you feel the consequences of your actions. And basically, how do we do this? There's a difference between instant gratification and delayed gratification. Basically, there's some things in this world where you do that it gives you a temporary boost of happiness and it drops your like fucking happiness afterwards, right? You know these things are bad habits because, for example, when you play video games, you temporarily feel happy, but all of a sudden your life gets worse. Why? Because now you have less time to do work, less time to do things that truly matter, and you're unhealthier, your brain is fucking fried, all your dopamine, and you feel so less motivated. Whereas for delayed gratification, let's say, for example, going to the gym, you don't feel as happy, but then after maybe the next day you wake up, maybe still some pain, but you feel happy, you feel proud of yourself. Even after the workout, you feel proud of yourself, right? So instant gratification has a temporary increase in happiness or motivation or whatever, right? And that dips down after and retains at a lower point than your baseline, whereas delayed gratification dips below your baseline at first, but then spikes your happiness afterwards, which means that over time, when you constantly do instant gratification, you get less and less and less happy every single day. Whereas for delayed gratification, you get more and more happy every single day. And this is why you look back and you feel like you've been so happy as a child, but today you fucking look at your future and you're like, holy fuck, I'm actually kind of cooked. You feel sad looking at your own life. Why? It's because every single day your life gets worse because you've been doing instant gratification all this time. Just realize that you are addicted to entertainment. You are addicted to the internet. You're addicted to games. You're addicted to scrolling. And these addictions you need to fix, because every single time you do it, it fries your dopamine. It abuses your brain's desire to chase novelty, thinking it's growing by exposing itself to all these new things, but in reality, it's just stagnating in the same position in life. All these companies are worth billions of dollars trying to scrape every single second of your day, all your attention, to make as much money as possible. And 99% of the time, it is only for the company's benefit. The companies do not benefit you when they take away 9 hours of your time, of your day, every single day. And the biggest reason for this is because you fry your dopamine. Dopamine is the chemical for motivation. And when you hyperstimulate yourself with such novel things, every single like 1 second you see a completely new thing, your brain thinks, oh shit, wait, we're growing, we're looking at new things. But the reality is you're not growing at all, you're not learning new things at all. And that fries your dopamine because you're constantly doing it, your brain is constantly expecting to be at that fucking level of novelty all the time, which means that real life gets boring. Basically, the modern world, bad habits, literally every single fucking habit that everyone has, fries our dopamine, makes us unmotivated, makes us not happy, because it's all instant gratification, because it just ruins our life in the long term. And so, to actually fucking fix our life, to actually be happy with who we are, we actually need to live weird. We need to live away from what everyone else does. And before you think you're someone special, like, oh, I don't really need to do this protocol, let me just click off. You're not a fucking special snowflake, right? We all are so similar to each other. This is why I can say, oh, I've been addicted to video games all this time, and you have the exact same addiction, bro. I know you because you were almost very, very fucking similar to my younger self. And so, because you're not special, your feelings don't even matter anyways either. This is how you play the game. This is how you play the game of life. You need to escape instant gratification and focus on delayed gratification. And whether you like it or not, this is how you win. So if you do this protocol or not, it doesn't matter to me. My life won't be changed if you actually fix your life, right? But only you will gain the benefits. Either way, life moves on. If you don't take action on what I've just told you, to actually do this protocol to change your life forever by removing instant gratification, you will stay unhappy for the rest of your life, okay? Inaction is still a decision. If you choose to not do anything about this and still keep living your life the way you always did and keep self-harming, then that's the life you'll deserve. Okay, now, what is a dopamine detox? Basically, our brains use a chemical called dopamine as a molecule for motivation. And the more we use dopamine, the more resistance we build against it. So for example, imagine if you, as a child, you looked out the window of a car and you were so entertained by all the fucking different buildings, all the new stuff that you're looking around. Now, over time, when you get older, you can't even fucking look out the window and be entertained anymore. You have to go on your phone because you're so bored, right? This is you being resistant to dopamine. Basically, your dopamine receptors are fried from the amount of dopamine that you get every single day. And if we resensitize or fix your dopamine receptors, you can feel like a kid once again. You will feel happy every single day. You will feel happy, be able to just not be bored, throwing around a ball, doing random shit. On this protocol, bro, I laugh so much daily. Like laugh like a kid, like a true like laugh, bro. I don't know if you know what I mean, but like when's the last time you actually laughed at something for like dead laughter where you couldn't even like fucking you're struggling to breathe for like 20 seconds? I've been laughing like that for the past few days, especially for the past few weeks ever since I've been on this protocol. You truly feel like a kid again when you reset your dopamine levels. And now, I actually really don't like the way most people do this, because most people just try to reset your dopamine basically by doing the most low stimulating things possible. This actually makes sense. It might be the fastest way to reset your dopamine levels by literally just trying to reduce your dopamine levels, like reduce your dopamine as much as possible in a day. Reset your dopamine levels in 24 hours, something like that, right? Those like clickbait titles. But the truth is, those people do it so that they can feel better doing bad habits again. Like, that's actually genuinely fucking brain dead. The way I do it, and the way I think everyone else should do it, is rewire your dopamine so that you actually are able to tolerate the good habits that give correct dopamine. See, the thing is, getting dopamine from going to the gym isn't a bad thing. Like, when was that a bad thing? You don't, like, dopamine isn't a bad thing in and of itself. You're not trying to avoid all the dopamine you get. It's just that you're trying to get it from the right sources in life. So, in my opinion, the real way to do a dopamine detox is just live a low stimulation lifestyle that is the most optimal for growing every single aspect of your life. And you do that by cutting out all bad habits. Inherently, that will reduce how much dopamine you get, because the bad habits are hyper stimulating all this dopamine and the good habits are all the way down here, right? The way I do a dopamine detox basically is live how you just should be living in real life. Isn't this special challenge. It's just living how you how you always wanted to in the first place. And of course, most people that try this dopamine detox challenge don't even want to live. Like, they don't want to live a life fully optimized for their own growth, which absolutely sucks. But hopefully, if you watch this video, you will know what I'm trying to say. Now, another quick disclaimer, by the way, this video is not a fucking quick fix, okay? We are going to build our skills of discipline, tolerating boredom, of willpower, of autonomy, all these skills you need to live your optimal life from ground zero. Now, of course, all of your urges to do bad habits will go away over time, and by 3 days later, it's gonna be fucking easy. You'll be like, oh, why have I never lived like this before? But I'm just trying to tell you, this is not a quick fix video. This is a brutal protocol that actually works and will forever change your life. Past this point, I'm not gonna convince you about it anymore. It's either you do my protocol or you don't. If you don't do my protocol, then it's better as if you just never watched this video in the first place, because I'm just wasting your time, okay? Past this point in the video, if you don't take action on the things that I say, your life will never change. You will stay sad and unmotivated for the rest of your life, just like every other average Joe 9-to-5 worker that dies, rich or poor, doesn't even matter, because you're dead. And if you don't truly want to change your life, you're not gonna stick to it. So do you actually want infinite motivation, infinite, like zero procrastination, infinite productivity for the rest of your life? If you do, then keep watching. If you don't, fuck off. Okay, so the first step we're gonna do is remove most of our desire for bad habits. So I've classified most of our desires into two types. And first of all, it's number one is gain progress desire, and number two is boredom desire. So boredom desire is basically all this reels, scrolling, like even gooning, like all these desires that you get when you're bored and you want to do something else. Game desires, however, I've realized is actually pretty different, because games have been designed by billion-dollar companies to be as addictive as possible, and how they do this is by manipulating our biology. Biologically, we want to make progress. We want to get wealth. We want to establish a community and to live in a tribe. Because why? Because that made us survive over time, right? So billion-dollar companies have manipulated these things and made us think that our desires can be fulfilled in the virtual world because it's so much easier than in real life. Of course, it's so much easier to talk to someone on text than in person, especially if you're like socially anxious or you think you're a introvert, when in reality I think that's low-key cope, because like you can just improve the skill just by talking more. Anyways, how do you stop playing a game? I've really thought this through. Like, I've thought for so long how to remove desire for playing a game, and my philosophy, I think, truly fucking works. So you really need to pay attention. If you are really addicted to video games, just pay attention to this part of the video, okay? If you're not really, then maybe you can skip off, like, or just like skim through this, okay? So basically, look, why is it said that people die closely after retirement? Now, you might be thinking, oh, it might just be because they retired for a reason. Well, they might be retiring because they're close to death. But honestly, I think that it's not maybe just because of that, but it's mainly because when they retire, they have no more desires for money or achievement anymore. They get complacent. Ambition is desire for more things, right? Complacency is basically saying, that's enough, I'm good enough. And when people retire, they get complacent. They're like, well, I guess this is the end of my career. I guess that's enough. This is good enough. I have a wife. I'm pretty old. Let's just enjoy life now. Let's stop striving for more and let's just settle down, right? That's what they start thinking. And I believe that complacency kills people. The more ambitious you are, I believe the more life you have in you. And the more complacent you are, the more like dead you are, to me, at least. And so, realize that games are a separate life in the virtual world. Similar to real life, these are just different lives, right? How do you kill yourself in real life? You get complacent, okay? How do you make yourself live in the real life? You get more ambitious, in my personal opinion, right? So, if we want to remove all desire from video games, which is just a game in the virtual world, we need to kill ourselves in the virtual world, and we do this by getting complacent, by thinking that in this game, we're like, oh, well, I guess there's nothing left to achieve. That's it. There's done. I achieved it all. I'll just log off and play another game. I'll just build ambition off of it. Like, I'll have ambition in another world or something, right? That mindset really helped me when I was trying to quit video games, because for so long, I was just wondering why I was like always obsessed with Brawl Stars. Like, that's the game I was always addicted to, right? It's because I was so ambitious in that game. I was constantly thinking about it, obsessing over it, and constantly wanting to play it because there was always goals and things I wanted to strive for. So in order to kill yourself in the virtual world and never play video games ever again, you must get complacent. There's two stories I want to say, like, quickly. I'll gloss over to not waste too much of your time. But firstly, basically, as a child, I really liked this game called Plants vs. Zombies 2. You probably heard of it before, right? And as a child, basically, one time I stumbled across like a YouTube video saying, oh my god, how to get infinite gems, all the plants max levels, and all the coins in PvZ2. And as a child, I would be like, oh my god, let me click on this video because I want more progress, right? Surprise, surprise, I actually didn't get a virus, and I actually did end up getting max level stats in PvZ2. It was just that I didn't finish all the levels. Now, at first, I thought that was the greatest thing. I thought like, oh my god, I just made so much progress. Now I can just complete the game. It's gonna be so easy, it's gonna be so fun. But what I didn't realize was the fact that it was not gonna be fun because it was too easy. Because every single plant in my game was literally maxed out, right? The pea shooters literally 3-shot the zombies. Like, what? Are you serious? Like, that is not fair. Like, of course, if you know about PvZ was made by EA, and EA games are always all pay to win, right? And so of course, if they max level stuff is gonna be so broken. And I got all the max level stuff, and the game was too easy. I played one level and the next level and the next level, and it was just too easy. Like, all I really had to do was place like a sunflower and then get a fucking pea shooter, like the basic ass pea shooter in each lane, and the game was over. Like, there was no strategy involved at all. I didn't need to think, it was just, and over time, I didn't want to play anymore, because I was like thinking complacency thoughts. I was like, well, what's the point anymore? This is too easy. I'm too good. I achieved it all. Well, of course, there's more levels, but it's just boring, because what's the point? There's no strategy involved. There's no skill difficulty balance. It's not a hard time. No, I'm not like struggling. And then I quit the game because there was nothing else left for me to do. Do you see how complacency can actually lead for you to quit a game forever, kill yourself in the virtual world? Now, another example I'll quickly go over. Hopefully this story won't take too long as well. Basically, 2 years ago, I was addicted to Brawl Stars, right? I already told you. And basically, the way I ended up quitting the game was I set a big goal and I achieved it. So 2 years ago, 60K was a lot of trophies. And like, basically in the game, if you don't know, when you win, you get trophies. And 60,000 trophies is a lot. And so me and my friends, I was like, you know what? Okay, once I hit 60K, I'm never gonna play this game ever again. And I did it. I hit 60K. And that end goal really, really helped me, because it made me start thinking of thoughts like, oh my God, okay, when I was playing, I was like, okay, let me just get this over with. And I would tilt or something. I would lose some trophies and be like, oh bro, I don't even want to play this game anymore. Come on, let's just get to the end goal. And then when I did get to the end goal, I was like, well, that's enough. Well, there's no more point of playing anymore. I got complacent. And that really, really helped me quit Brawl Stars. So keep this in mind. First of all, let me just tell you, your actionable step, if you're addicted to video games, is to actually finish the game. Meaning, if your game is like an unlimited game, like Brawl Stars, for example, or like some like first-person shooter or something, right? That you've always been addicted to, you gotta finish it. You gotta set a goal and be like, once I'm done this goal, it's over. I'm not playing this game anymore. Because this makes you complacent in the virtual world, which destroys all your ambition and kills you in the virtual world, right? Now, there's a problem. And the thing is, if you're like anything like my younger self, you probably made a friend group around yourself, all addicted to the same substance, which is the same video game that you've all played. And so this can actually go pretty deep, because if you've never asked yourself who your friends truly are before, you might never have ever thought that maybe your friends aren't people even you truly respect, aren't even people you want to be around, right? Maybe your friends are just losers. Like if I had to be honest, and I'm offending you for the sake of your growth. This chapter of the video, you might actually need to just pause and like bookmark it at this time and just sit back and actually think, like actually grasp the things I'm trying to tell you. Your friends might not actually be people who you want to spend time around. Why? Because they're only friends because of two things that are similar. Like I define friends as how many things you are similar with them with, and your friends are only similar with you for two things. Number one, they sit next to you in school because they're forced to go there. Number two, they play the same addiction as you. Okay, that's the only reason why they're friends. There's no connection, there's no hobbies, there's no like fucking, oh, we go to the gym together, oh my God, you saved my life once, something like that, right? your friends are really, really shallow if they're anything like my older friends. And so maybe for this part of the video, you might just want to pause and just literally just think and be like, maybe these friends aren't the people I want in my life anymore. Because let me tell you, when I was quitting Brawl Stars, I deleted the game 50 plus times. I got back into, it was muscle memory for me to download the game again and then delete it after the session of every time I played. Why? It was because every single time I went to school, I always surrounded myself with people that played the game around me. And of course, that would fuck up how hard, like that would really fucking make it hard for me to quit the addiction. If everyone around me is playing it, obviously a crackhead will be struggling to quit their addiction if everyone around them is still using it. So really, really fucking think about it. Maybe these friends are not the ones you want after all. Now, if you've decided maybe that it's time to break off from this friend group, first of all, I want you, here are the actionable steps on how to, which is like fucking brutal, but okay, let me just say it, right? First of all, realize that school brainwashes you to think that you're constantly being watched. When reality is, bro, if you stop texting your friends for like a day, would they really give a fuck? If you stop joining that specific Discord group where everyone hops on call to play video games every single day, would they give a fuck? Would they ask you, oh my god, where have you been? Like, maybe, but probably not. Everyone thinks about themselves all of the time, meaning that most of the time, no one's thinking about you. Even though school brainwashes you to think that you're always being watched, the reality is you're probably never really being watched unless you're sitting in a classroom and the teacher's just staring you down, right? And teachers are not fucking in the real world anyways. So what I'm saying is, if you slowly disappear from these guys, they probably might not even care. They would just do the same things they've always done. Be like, oh, where did bro go? And they'd be like, oh, I don't know. And there you go. You kind of just faded away. Maybe they'll ask you sometimes like, oh, can you hop on? But you might need to build some like self-respect and hold frame and being like, okay, no, I am a different person now. Those things are just self-harm. I don't even want to do it anymore. And so that's some tips on how to break off. And basically for a period of your life, you might be pretty lonely just because there's not many people similar to you that are not trying to play video games. How you can make a new friend group that actually you genuinely respect is by doing three things, right? You live an interesting life attached to the real world, right? So for example, going to the gym, doing a ton of sports, going to the library, study and like learn or like whatever, right? And then you invite people into it. It's pretty simple. Actually, I said 3 steps, but it's 2. Basically, you want to be the person that is inviting other people instead of waiting for the charismatic guy in the group to invite you. You can just be that guy. And that is the easiest way to build a new friend group. Just by basically doing things that you are genuinely interested in and then inviting other people into that life. And this is basically how I built a friend group of where everyone in my friend group I genuinely respect. All my friends in my friend group go to the gym, are trying like businesses, and yeah, they're just not like chopped people, right? Not like physically, but like mentally. So let me summarize basically what I said, right? If you want to quit a game, you want to get complacent in it. Set a big goal and then just finish it. Finish the game. And if you're in a friend group that basically constantly pulls you towards playing that game, you're gonna have to break off from them, right? The problem is me personally, I had it pretty easy because I had a really good friend who always played with me, but he was in a different school. We just hopped on Discord call every day. But if your friends are in school, it's gonna be really challenging. You're gonna have to find some way to just talk to more people and just stop giving a fuck about what other people think. Oh my god, the social dynamics are already established because we're not in the first week of school. bro, just no one gives a fuck. Just talk to people, and they'll be so happy that you're inviting them into your interesting life. That's the way you're gonna have to go about things. So that's how you break off from your friend group that pulls you towards your video games desires. And finally, I want to mention one thing. You have to really, really watch out for your desires to start new games, because like I said before, our brains are biologically wired to seek status, progress in our lives, novelty, and these things. And these billion-dollar entertainment and gaming companies have manipulated the virtual world to basically give everything that we want in such an easy way. And because we're biologically hardwired to seek the path of least resistance, because otherwise we wouldn't really survive in a hard scenario, like a hard situation, we are constantly pulled into these things. We would constantly look for new games where we can make quick and easy progress without actually making progress in our life. So you really need to watch out for these desires that pop up. Once you start getting complacent in one game, you're gonna start building ambition to make progress in another game. But the way I like to think of it as is, life is a game, right? Like I said before. So just focus on the current game that you're playing. Just focus back on real life. To keep this in mind for the next sections of the video, try to constantly pay attention to all the progress you make in real life. If you're addicted to video games, just fucking focus on making progress in real life and shift to increasing the ambition in real life and increasing the complacency in the video games, right? So for this section of the video, if you haven't done so already, here are the actionable steps again. Finish your game, maybe break away, distance yourself from the people that are addicted to your vice. And finally, basically watch out for desires for new video games. And finally, the fourth actionable step is you need to accept the new lifestyle. Because I was talking to a friend once who was trying out this protocol, and I realized that he was saying oh, I'll only try this protocol for a week or maybe a few days and see if it really is life-changing. And that made me realize that he didn't truly accept what it means to have zero bad habits, to truly focus completely on leveling up yourself in the real world. You need to actually accept it. You need to let go of the past, of your past self, and into a future self where you're truly focused on the real world. The way I like to see it is just grow up. You have to let go of the things that you used to always like, because those things, although they're attached to your childhood and they give a lot of nostalgia, they're bad habits. They harm you in the real world, and you have to let it go. Quick note, don't hate on your past self, because the more hate you put into, for example, the bad habits, or you hate all the time you wasted, that just gives negative energy. And the more energy you put into hating on the bad habits, the more you focus on the bad habits, which makes it harder to quit them. So just be okay with it and be okay, well, before I didn't know, just accept your past self, and you have to really move on. You have to commit big to this lifestyle change. Another way to accept the new lifestyle is just to brainwash yourself and tell yourself that this is who I am. I am now a person who doesn't do these bad habits. I am not a video gamer anymore. I'm just someone who's actually focused on improving myself in the real world, which most 99% of people cannot even say, which I am that's actually crazy to me if you really think about it. How are people not even living in the real world anymore? This is a really, really big step. This chapter might take you a few weeks or maybe a month for you to finally accept, get complacent in the video game, finish your big goals, finish the game, and step away from your friend group. This section probably has the hardest actionable steps out of the entire guide, but it is the most crucial. It is the first step, the biggest commitment you'll take to a new lifestyle. Right now, I don't know if you can tell if I'm speaking truly from my heart, but these are the true actionable steps you really need to take, especially if you're someone like my younger self who was just so addicted to these games. And just, you need to step away from these things and just grow up and attach yourself to the real world. That's the like my true like heart to heart lesson I would give to my younger self, because I was just so down bad addicted to these video games. And if you're not ready to step away from the game, I wouldn't blame you. But past the point, like past this, or past the section where you set your goals and you know what you truly want to do in your life, by then, if you haven't done these 4 actionable steps, then like I just can't do anything. Like, these are the true, like the most crucial bottlenecks of your life. And hopefully, I don't know if you can tell that I'm speaking from my heart, but you truly just need to just sit and think and just do it. Just take action and actually live a life, like a new version of yourself. Alright, so for step 2, we're going to make it hard to do bad habits. By now, you should have already either made a big step away from video games, or if not, actually really thought about it for a long time. Because this is the point where I got stuck. At this point, when I started, okay, for example, like the first step is to delete the app, obviously, right? I got stuck here going back and forth, downloading the app 50 plus times. Like, bro, imagine downloading an app 50 times. When the first time I tried to quit Brawl Stars, when I hit 60,000 trophies, I re-downloaded the app 60 plus times, and it was because I still had a commitment to the game. I still was attached to it. And this is why the previous steps of just really detaching yourself from that and just accepting the new version of yourself is so important. But without further ado, I'm not gonna keep yapping to you the same exact things. All of these are gonna be actionable steps. So number 1, delete your vices, delete your apps that like you have muscle memory with for your addiction. So for example, Instagram, TikTok, and the games, obviously, right? And the reason why we delete the app is not because it actually works. Because, bro, imagine if like, bro, I could have made this video of 30 seconds. Oh, how to do a dopamine detox? Just delete the apps. It doesn't fucking work, bro. I tried it and re-downloaded the app 50 plus times. We have brain cells that will re-download the app. It's just because it breaks our muscle memory habits of just whenever we're bored or whenever we want to make progress in the world, we click on the app that sends us to like an instant gratification thing that tricks our brain into thinking that we're actually making progress. By breaking the muscle memory, it buys us time to think and to use willpower. This isn't the section where I'm going to talk about willpower, but just know that you need to break these. You need to actually give yourself time in between when you do the bad habits, just so you can just like take a deep breath and think like, okay, do I really want to do this? Or like, not even cope with yourself. Actually, the real tactic is just to delete the thoughts entirely. But you need to snap yourself back into control, and that is why deleting the apps are so important. Like, because it buys time to think. Okay. So now you might be thinking, oh, okay, well, what about Instagram or like TikTok? I text my friends there or something, right? I'll give you an alternative in the next step. But basically, look, for YouTube specifically, I want you to download Unhooked. Unhooked is a browser extension that basically, I think it just turns off all your suggestions. Just do it and then just turn on like most of the settings, right? And including, actually for YouTube as well, I really like deleting your watch history. And the reason being, if you go onto the recommended, it will literally not show a single thing. Like, again, this like for me, like it was kind of a commitment thing too. Like I didn't want to delete my watch history because I kind of like, for some reason, going back in my old videos sometimes, just rewatching the things, like just admiring the things I used to like to watch. But it's just another commitment step. Just delete your watch history and download Unhooked, so that YouTube is now literally just brain dead. The only thing you can kind of scroll on YouTube is two things. Number one, your subscriber list, which you should not be like, okay, on this protocol. Okay, no, you're not allowed to. And number two, it's when you actually search something, which I believe should actually be how YouTube should be used. I believe that YouTube should be used like Google. When you have a specific problem, your current constraint in your life, when you're trying to solve something, like solve the problem in your life that will give you the most benefit and grow you the most, you search it, right? You search for it on Google, but you can also search for it on YouTube, depending on the thing, like if it's like a tutorial, right? So that's, I think, how you should be using YouTube from now on. Use it like Google. Just search for answers. Don't actually just doom scroll it. And obviously with the other apps, I wouldn't even like search for answers on like TikTok. Like I've heard people around me say, oh, but TikTok actually kind of learned a bit based on the search function. But the truth is, like, bro, you can just learn it on YouTube anyways. YouTube is just such a more educational platform, and even still, there's still so much like brain rot you have to sift through, and like unfortunately have to like just fry your dopamine when you're trying to search for an answer that's like with the least amount of dopamine possible. Okay, anyways, Beeper is an app that basically lets you replace DMs on Instagram and TikTok. So I remember always, like, for a long time, I've always had, for a while I was like addicted to reels, and the reason why was because every single time I opened Instagram, I would see the first reel, and the point I wanted to use Instagram for was texting someone. But then once I saw the first reel, I was like, my brain was just like oh my god, and then to start scrolling, and then I catch myself 5 reels later, I'm like, oh my gosh, shit. Like, I go back to the text, do I actually want? And it subconsciously just go back to the fucking like the suggested post or like the reel section, and ooh, boom, there goes 30 minutes or like an hour, right? Beeper is literally just using Instagram only for the messages. It, like, if you link it to Instagram, you don't get the reels anymore. It's literally perfect for this protocol, okay? And I don't have TikTok on my phone, but it probably works for TikTok as well. If you really want to text people there, just download it, link it right now. By the way, if you're literally sitting there passively not doing these actionable steps right now, then like fuck off, bro. Like, come on, do it right now. No waiting, no point of waiting. If you forget later, then you are to blame. Like, only you yourself are to blame. Okay. Finally, I want you to actually clean up your phone. Meaning, basically, so on iPhone, there's this option where you can delete. You can press you can hold the app down, press delete app, and then press remove from home screen. I want you to have a home screen of only things that you truly use. So clear literally everything. Okay, so basically go on your home screen right now, right? And then start basically putting everything. Okay, first of all, delete the apps that you know you actually never ever use, right? And on your home screen, or like also in all the apps. And then for the things that you think you might use, I might use this once a week or something, just remove it from your home screen anyways. And for the next 2 weeks, just forever, I want you to basically, whenever you use an app, that's when you bring it to your home screen. So basically what this protocol is, like, you start with a blank home screen, and then every time you need to use an app, you search for the app and then bring it back to the home screen. So now that app you actually know you actually use. That's why it should be at your home screen. You shouldn't be having apps that you use once a month on your home screen. I always love to keep my iPhone home screen literally one page. You know what I mean? Like, I have like widgets of like I don't even know, like calendar or like weather, and then all the apps are at the bottom, and then like the bottom like section, right? That's it. If I swipe, it goes to like the search function. It's not even like to another page of apps. That's how little apps I have on my home screen. And the reason why we do this is because, like, imagine it as a messy closet. You need to clean it, and yeah, it just overall really helped me out when I was trying to like focus on like more things and like just keep things essential on your phone. It's really satisfying. Just do that right now. Maybe it's like not that important on a dopamine detox, but low-key, I'd really like to do that. Okay. Anyways, next step is emails. So I remember looking at my sister's phone once and just seeing like I don't know, like 2,000 plus email notifications as like the badge, like the red like red dot with like the white number on it, right? And I was just like, bro, like what the fuck? I asked her like, oh, are you ever gonna fucking read this? And she's like, no. On a dopamine detox, you cannot be checking notifications every single second. Like basically, unless you never ever use email, which if you're like a student, probably not, you should be cleaning up all your notifications. You're going to need to clean up all your notifications on email. And the reason being is because every new ping on your phone is gonna fuck with the dopamine detox. So what I want you to do right now, literally, is go into your emails and unsubscribe from all of the non-essential email lists as you can. It took me like maybe low-key like an hour or something to do that. And once you do that, forever, whenever you need to sign up for a new email list for some reason, you want to like really make sure it's essential. If not, unsubscribe it. And from now on, once you've done this step, it becomes literally all the notifications become essential. They're actually notifications that are actually important. I check my emails once a day, usually not in the morning, maybe in like the afternoon, ideally. Sometimes in the morning if it's like checking for a snow day or something, right? And these emails are actually essential. If I actually get an email, I actually need to look at it instead of clogging my brain with fucking, I don't know, some random like EA Sports email or like some, like just all these advertisements, just I all unsubscribed from. And now only the essential emails are on my phone. And going with that actionable step, by the way, do that right now. But going with that actionable step, I want you to turn off 99% of all notifications on your phone. So basically, look, you go in settings and just turn off all the notifications. No sounds should ever be like on your phone other than calls, because I know like a lot of millionaires will say like, oh, just turn off everything. But like for as a student, we kind of, first of all, we need to be kind of social, right? We're not going to be weirdos in our entire lives. In our most social period of our life, right? And secondly, some things are actually truly important, right? We're not living on our own where like, oh, whatever happens, like it's on us. Some things are truly important. So the only notifications that I actually have on, number one, I didn't touch the phone app, where like, for one time I accidentally turned off the notifications for the phone app, and bro, my mom got so fucking pissed. So just like, don't make that mistake, right? For messages specifically, all the other texting app I actually don't think are necessary, but for messages is where like I text my families and like my closest friends, right? Those messages I think are truly essential. So that's why I don't have it on sound. If I look at my lock screen, I'll never be able to find messages from those people. However, I will be able to open my phone, and if I look at the messages app, there is going to be a red dot. That's literally the only app that has a red dot on my phone. Oh, and other than that, it's an email, and I think that's it. Literally, that's all as far as notifications go for me. I never have any pings other than like fucking like alarms, obviously, or like phone, like people calling me. Everything else should be silent. Everything else should not appear on your lock screen. Because why? Like, okay, and let me ask you this question. Why do you want this? It's because the way I like to see my phone, I see it as another human being. Imagine you're trying to work on a task. For example, you're trying to write an essay and you really need to fucking focus, right? You need to do deep work. Now, imagine someone standing next to you and maybe like every 5 minutes or so, they're just like, bing, like, oh shit, bro, that was actually a really good fucking act. But like, bro, I'd fucking slap that person out of the way, like, get the fuck out of my room. But that's your phone, bro. Like, you need to take control of your phone. Your phone is just another fucking distraction in your life, and why are you letting it distract you? Other than what is truly essential, which is, for example, emergencies or email note, like, look, iMessages and emails both don't have sound on my phone, right? Like I said, the only things that truly have sound on my phone is calls, okay? During work, I never ever get distracted from my phone. It's either, like, the only times is like when I, for example, for some reason, take a break and then I grab it, right? That's the only distraction. When I choose to distract myself with my phone. Other than that, my phone never rings during work, unless it is absolutely essential. So that's kind of the level where I want you to be at. And basically, I remember hearing advice of people online saying, oh, just during work, just put away your phone and hide your phone and put it in a different room. Like, that's really good advice. However, with this protocol, with doing all these steps, by the way, there's 2 more steps that I didn't even mention, with adjusting your phone to literally make it like brain dead and actually how a phone should be, not a distraction, but a tool, right? At this point, like, if you put your phone on your desk, it's not even that bad. Like, the only bad thing is that your own muscle memory to pick up and distract yourself with it, right? But all the notifications are gone. It doesn't distract you. You are distracted by it. So once you train yourself to like get rid of that bad habit of like looking to your phone as a distraction, which I have trained myself already too. If I put my phone on my desk, I won't get distracted at all. Then after that point, low-key, I don't even need to hide it. It's hide it or not, it's the same thing. It's just doesn't distract me anymore. So I know I went off topic, but that's like basically a really big reason why you should turn off all notifications, right? Now, 2 settings on your phone you should switch. Tap to wake, turn that off, and raise to wake, you should also turn that off. Basically, we need to get to the point where your phone is something that you choose to use, not something that turns on and alerts you and you're like, oh, well, I guess I'm kind of bored, let me just check it out. Like, that is just brain dead fucking average Joe shit, right? So you need to get that out. And finally, a lot of people like to put their screen time on their phone in the front page during a dopamine detox when they're really trying to lock in on a protocol. Me personally, I found that it just fucks with my head, okay? I know it did kind of work when I used to do it. However, the way I see it is you're focusing on the wrong thing. Because on my dopamine detox protocol, which I think is the best, where you're not focusing on truly just minimizing screen time or trying to reset your dopamine levels as fast as possible, rather you're just focusing on living the life you always truly wanted. Optimizing for the lowest amount of screen time isn't even the thing we want to do in the first place. Using our phones as a tool is supposed to be how it is on a dopamine detox. You're supposed to use your phone for calling people, for Google Docs, for like, actually texting people that you truly care about. Still, on a dopamine detox, you're not supposed to use social media and like scrolls and like, you're not supposed to use you're not supposed to use entertainment. Fair enough. However, there are some things that, like, having a 0 second screen time on your phone isn't necessarily a good thing all the time, right? So this is why I don't really like putting my screen time on my phone, especially because it just makes you focus on the bad habits as well. Let's say that, for example, you try this protocol out and you fuck up, like you re-download the app and you're like, fuck bro, I just played for like 2 hours, let me just quickly delete it. Or like you played till like late and then you fuck up your sleep schedule. It's fucked up to look back at that screen time and analyze your mistakes and be like, bro, I actually hate myself. Why did I ever do that again? Because again, you're giving negative energy to the bad habit, which makes you focus on the bad habit, which makes it harder for you to quit it. So this is why I don't really like putting my screen time on my phone. If you find that helps you, then sure, you can do it. But otherwise, I don't plan to do it on my protocol. For the third section, we're gonna be doing goal setting. So thing is, in real life, most people never have ever set a real goal in their life. That is fucked. Like, bro, do you not see life as as anything worth striving for? Like, why do you not have a single goal in your life? Like, what do you want to do in your life? You're literally like a raft in an ocean, letting the fucking tides push you forward, letting life, like, waiting for life to happen. Like, bro, that's actually brain dead. Take life by the horns and fucking drive yourself to do what you want, right? What do you want? That is the real question. What I want is my goals in life. I want 100K subscribers on YouTube, okay? And without goals in our lives, we just become directionless. If I didn't set a goal of 100K subscribers, sure, I might be still doing YouTube, but I wouldn't know when to stop or when to start, or like, oh, I'd start coping, saying like, well, I guess I'll just post a YouTube video the next time because I'll learn more by then. Like, we need goals in our life to push us forward, especially if you're a video gamer, because if you love video games, really think about it. Why was it that you were always called back to video games? I mentioned this before in the complacency part of the video, right? It's because you're so ambitious in the game. Every single time you log on, you look at your score, your trophies count, or like how many times you won, you're like, damn, let's make that bigger. Let's get to the next milestone, Let's level this guy up. Let's do this, that. Let's get more rich. Let's invite more people into the tribe or whatever. Video games are so manipulative because they constantly remind yourself of the progress you make and how much progress there is to be made in the virtual world. Now, we need to do that in the real world to keep yourself ambitious and focusing on the real world itself, right? So this is why goals are so important, not just because from a basic human standpoint, like what the fuck do you want to do with your life? Especially because if you are a video gamer, you are addicted to making progress, and we just need to replace that addiction from the virtual world to the real world. So if you don't have goals, then let me help you set them right now, okay? So here's some example of like past goals that I've set myself. And the key question to ask is like, what problems do you want to solve? For me, for my past self, what I wanted to solve was to get a 95 average, okay? Pretty obvious for my channel, right? I got a 6-pack, and I remember saying 6-pack in 6 weeks, which is sick, right? Because like most people never get a 6-pack in their entire life. They're just fat asses, okay? I got 0 acne. Right now I kind of fell off. Like at some point okay bro, it's like 2 pimples, not fall off, but at some point I truly had 0 acne on my face, and I'm actually truly proud of that. And by the way, if you set that goal yourself, let me just put you on the sauce. Just watch some Oscar Patel on YouTube, okay? Anyways, but don't just, like start like fucking frying your dopamine right away off this video. Oh, bro, and I'm done. No, bro, like just follow the protocol. I'll tell you when you can actually fucking, learn on your own and stuff, right? And also another goal I said was go out with friends once a week, because again, I took time to break off from my friend group. So those 4 goals are like basic goals. I think honestly, like you can take those if you want. I think, bro, like 0 acne is just a great fucking goal. And 6-pack, just like, oh, if you're a girl, by the way, just like go for a defined 2-pack. That's fucking sick as well, right? And overall, low-key, I'd only set 4 goals at once, but unless you really have time to do all, like working out doesn't take too long. But basically the main idea behind setting goals is, what problems do you want to solve in your life right now? What is almost like your current constraint? So the idea of current constraint comes from the idea of the weakest link. Basically, imagine like a chain, right? All these chains are like metal chains, but then the one right here is a paper chain, like a paper roll, I guess, right? And it's holding this chain together. If I pulled on this fucking chain, how strong would the chain be? It would be actually equivalent to the strength of the weakest link, the paper. And why is that? Because that's the limiting factor. And we can look at this the same way as in your own life. Basically, look, you have 3 big chains in your life: health, wealth, and relationships. Those 3 are the biggest aspects of your life that you should be improving on, right? And notice how, first of all, school is not in one of those. That's why I always say, like, bro, school literally just like you optimize time outside of school so that you can focus more on improving yourself in the real world. Like, bro, school would, I guess, be classified as part of wealth, but the reality is school like sets you up for a job, and a job is not that even good of a wealth path. So okay, anyways, sorry, I'm yapping off topic, but basically look at your life in terms of three things: health, wealth, relationships. Okay, health, the ideal state would be literally your ideal body, right? Being very, very fit. If you want to be jacked like a bodybuilder, then sure. If you want to be like, I don't know, very, very lean, like crazy muscle density like Bruce Lee, then sure, that's your goal, right? But you probably don't even know what you want yet. That would be 10 out of 10 on health. For wealth, that would be you're rich, pretty simple. For relationships, either you're already married or you're pulling like infinite girls in real life, okay? That would be the ideal scenario. So I want you right now, if you're struggling to set goals, literally rank yourself out of 10. Okay, so get a piece of paper, right? And write health, wealth, and relationships, and rank yourself out of 10 for each of those. And the score that you put for each of those, focus on the lowest one. Low-key, for most people, it'd be like a fucking 0 out of 10 for all three. So it doesn't really even matter. Like, oh, so holy, like I offend fucking my viewers so hard, but this is just to wake you up to realize, like, bro, you are literally level 0 in this real world, and you need to fucking lock in, right? Those goals that I mentioned before, those 4 goals really, really helped me out. Maybe just take those 4 goals and start working on those from now on. Now, a point to note here, if you didn't take my 4 goals, you should be setting goals that replace your bad habits. What does that mean? You do your bad habits for a reason. And if you don't replace that desire that you did, like the problems that you solved with your bad habits, then you might just fall back into the bad habits. So I already went through the process of thinking deeply about why I truly do my bad habits, and here are 2 of my answers. Why do I used to play games? Because I really liked the social validation, I really liked making progress, I really liked feeling security and like in the amount of resources I have. These are all like primal desires. So how did I replace that? By building a better social group, by starting like making money online, and by going to the gym and like seeing that like level up progress in my physique and like building strength, because strength is just another game, like a mini game in our lives that we should be focusing on. And I replaced strength with the desire to like level up in the virtual world, right? For scrolling, basically you feel like the reason why we do it is because we want novelty. And the reason why is because we get novelty from growth and progress, but we're just replacing it with not growth and progress, but just like seeing new things on our phone. So how do you replace that? Actually grow and make progress in the real world. Imagine if you woke up every single day with more defined muscles. Bro, that would be fucking like that, an amount of motivation you get to wake up the next day would be crazy, right? You will always seek for novelty, and you can just simulate this in the real world by setting goals. Basically what I'm trying to say is just know that your bad habits are bad habits, and the reason why you do them is because there's a problem in your life that you're trying to solve, and you're masking over that problem with a band-aid solution that is in the virtual world. So maybe you need to think about your true desires, like why you want to be doing these things. Or maybe I gave away the answers for you already, because I only used to have like big problems with gaming and scrolling. That's basically it. So that's all the philosophy I can pass on to you. Now, a key thing to note about setting goals is that you should make them big. You might be thinking, oh, but what if they're too big, or if they're actually really big, then I wouldn't be sure that I can like achieve the goal. The truth is, it doesn't even matter how big a goal is, as long as it's in a positive direction, you're gonna strive towards that direction. However, the farther and bigger the goal is, first of all, the more motivated you'd be to get it, because you can imagine yourself at the end scenario. And secondly, the harder you'll push for it in the first place. So imagine, let's say you're an 80 average right now in school, right? And you're like seeing me say, oh my God, wait, I should set a goal of a 95 average. What the fuck? That's so big. there's no way I'm reaching that. Okay, well, maybe if I set that goal, the most I get is an 85. I'm gonna fail the goal. The truth is, bro, if you set a pussy goal like 85 average, what would you probably get? 85. But if you set a goal of 95, you might actually hit the 90s, just because you, in reference, you have deprived, like, your achievement in reference to the goal is lower, but in reference to a pussy goal, it's actually really fucking good. So you don't even realize it, but setting bigger goals actually makes you achieve more anyways. And not only that, it's very important that you have big goals that you truly want, because who wants a fucking 85 average, right? But 95 average, you can get into basically 90% of universities that you want to around your area, right? And by making these goals big, you get more motivated to do them. And this is a very, very important step of your goals, because in the future, I'm going to tell you a technique on how to resist your desires, and it involves basically visualizing your goals and imagining yourself in the end scenario. If you set goals where if you imagine yourself actually achieving them and it's not even all that, like, what's the fucking point of the goal? Like, bro, you're gonna need big goals to motivate you out of the fucking virtual world, because billion-dollar companies are fucking brutal, okay? You have a less chance of doing pussy goals than big goals. So, like, bro, just set big goals anyways.
So I want you to set your goals right now. Now, like I already said, but like basically, look, you can ask yourself a few problems. What do you truly want? What problems do you want to solve in your life? And basically, if you still don't know, you can just look at your bad habits and see what in your life is missing, and like pretty much just think about why you're doing these bad habits and what are they a band-aid for, okay? And this is actually your opportunity to be truly authentic, because you probably maybe know that like all of social media has all these like standards of like, oh my god, wait, when you're a millionaire, you gotta be on the beach with the margarita or that fucking drink or whatever, and like everyone's smoking when they're rich, and like all these fucking purses, bags, cars. Like, social media makes our goals so inauthentic, and if you truly want to stand out, maybe like just really just sit alone and actually be like detached and really truly think about what you truly want in this one life you have, okay? So that's just my 2 cents on that. And basically, like I said before, make them big and do it right now. And right now, right? And then after that, what you want to do is just basically think about like what are the exact actions you need to achieve them. So if, for example, you want a six-pack, all you have to do is just work out 3 times a week, 4 times a week, maybe even 7 times a week. Like, bro, the more you work out your abs, the faster you want, like, make progress, basically, right? I mean, unless you're like overworking them, that's beside the point. You can just do more research on that, right? But at the end of the day, just make sure you know exactly what you need to do, and keep this in mind, because if you just do the things you said, like, oh, okay, well, I just need to work out 3 times a week, and you just work out 3 times a week, it doesn't even matter when you're like you expect to reach your goal or whatever. You're just gonna end up getting there anyways. Like, for example, for me, if I just end up keep posting on YouTube until the end of time, I will eventually hit 100k subs. It doesn't even matter if I improve. It doesn't even matter if I mean, yeah, it does kind of matter, but right, so just keep that in mind. Make sure you know exactly the actions you need to take.
Now, finally, a very big step is write all these goals down and stick it on your wall behind you. So right now I'm at a desk, right? Behind the camera is where I should be sticking my goals. You want to be sticking it in front of your desk wherever you work the most, because you need to be constantly reminding yourself of the new identity you want to be. And not only that, it helps with like remembering goals in the first place. Overall, like, such a big helpful thing when it comes to achieving your goals, it's just constantly reminding yourself of what you want to like do in every single day of your life, right? It's almost like in video games, you always have like a to-do list or like milestones or masteries just waiting there. Whenever you want to look at it, you check at it and you're like, oh my god, I made so much progress. You should be doing that in real life as well. become a psychopath that puts their goals on their walls, like writes random shit on their walls. I might put like a photo up in this video saying, like, showing you a picture of my wall. I have so much stuff in my wall, outlining my goals, my thoughts, my, like, what I should be doing, morning routines, night routines, whatever. Literally, you should become like a psychopath compared to the average person, and that is how you truly make progress in the real world. Now, for the next step, this might be the greatest productivity tip of all time: making a daily timetable. Basically, look, have you ever heard of habits? Basically, you do a specific thing at a defined time. Now, in Atomic Habits, they call this thing called habit stacking, where instead of just doing one thing, you can do one habit, like for example, brush your teeth, and then after that, you do another habit, which is, I don't know, floss your teeth, right? And you stack. If you start stacking habits like these, they become so easy, because once you do the first thing, it perfectly leads on to the next thing. It's like a cue for the next habit, right? And then you start just snowballing all these good habits all at once. And the thing is, there is no limit to how many habits you can stack. What if your entire day became a habit, where every single second of the day you planned out to be perfectly optimized for growth? The reason why I do a daily timetable is because it is absolutely broken. I literally do not need to think anymore. My entire day is planned out, and so I don't waste time with not only coping with myself, but also figuring out what to do, because I already planned it out. It's perfectly optimal. Now, of course, like, obviously, you're never gonna get the perfect daily routine. It doesn't really matter. Just stick to a good daily routine where you're like, okay, I can turn off my brain safely and I know I'll hit my goals. That is where we want to get at in this chapter. 3 reasons why a daily routine is broken for a dopamine detox. Number 1, you focus on the task and goals, not the bad habits you're trying to quit, like I said before, which is really important, because the more energy you give to your bad habits, the more you focus on it, and the harder it is to quit them. Number 2, you plan every single second of your day. So you know what to do every single second of your day, so you can turn off your brain. Now, why is that a good thing? What I've realized, and I'll tell you in the next chapter, is that willpower, first of all, what is willpower? Willpower is resisting desires, like basically not doing something you want to do, right? And how do you do this? A lot of people just say, oh, just resist the desire, but that's so like hard. It is actually fucking hard to resist the desires. A very, very easy actionable step I found to resist desires is just turn off your brain. You realize you can just delete the desire, right? By getting complacent in video games, we eliminate most of the desires, but they will still pop up. You will still want to come back to the same game you always played. You can just turn off that desire. And the way you do that is by basically relaxing. You relax your brain, you turn off most of your thoughts. You don't want to be thinking in a day where you're fucking fighting demons all the time. That's why planning every single second of your day is broken, because if you know what to do every single second of the day, you can just turn off your brain, and that makes it so much easier to resist your vices, right? And the final reason why a timetable is so broken is because I love this quote from Essentialism. You make, the quote is, one decision that makes 1,000. If you make a daily timetable, you literally eliminate 1,000 other decisions, because for the next few days you don't even need to think anymore. All these decisions, these micro decisions, create something called decision fatigue, which basically means that you're exhausting your willpower and stuff, and it sucks. Like, you don't want to be like using excess energy focusing on things that you could have just decided all at once. Like, the reason, like, a daily timetable is fucking broken. Like, until you try it, you won't even realize how broken it is for productivity. So right now, we're gonna make it right now.
Okay, so right now, basically what you're gonna do first of all is gonna make a doc. And the reason why I'm not giving you a template is because the last time I did that, everyone requested to have access, which meant infinite emails. So I'm not trying to do that again. Okay, so you go to insert table, and then you make a 2x2 um, table, and basically you're gonna outline everything you do in your daily, like what you do daily right now. And then the second thing is edit your life as if it was a video, to put it, like, to make it your ideal day. So if you want to, okay, so a few things for this. Number one, um, you can kind of just copy mine, because I'm not gonna go ahead and explain every single small thing that I did with my routine, but I just found that working before school really helps, because those hours are the most valuable hours in the day, because you have the most energy, focus, and motivation. Um, School slash work, I'll explain that later. But after work, I always like to gym, because then I only have to shower once in my day, right after this. After school and gym, I can just shower and I can chill after school. And I'm not going to explain everything else, but yes, I found that this daily routine really works for me, and you can copy most of it if you really want to, right? Um, but when you're editing this thing, like when you're making your own daily routine, just don't worry about like what I said about work. Yeah, just write like what you genuinely do at that time. Okay. Now the next step is, once you edit your day to be how you want it to be, and keep in mind that when you're editing your day, you should edit it based on your goals, right? So if you go back to your like goal setting section, or like you probably should have already stuck your goals on your wall, and you should know already that like what are the actionable steps specifically that you have to take in order to achieve those goals, whether it be daily or weekly, right? Those actionable steps you should put in your daily routine. Like if it's daily, then perfect, just allocate a specific time to do that. And from now on, you should set a, like, for example, if it's like, I don't know, 9 a.m. Sorry, like let's just say like 5 p.m. Gym. Like if you put that like that, right? Set an alarm clock so that every single day, yes, 5 p.m. you should gym, and this is actually including weekends, because bro, there's so much propaganda about like weekends being um your time to relax and do whatever you want. But bro, it's literally your time. The same exact thing as school. School is still your time. Like there's so much propaganda about like people thinking that like, oh my god, like when you're in school, you are completely a fucking slave, and you have to like be absolutely obedient to the teacher. Whatever they say you have to do, you have to do. Like bro, it's like, of course, like you're gonna get yelled at if you do whatever you want, but still, it's like they don't have control over you. You're not like, you're a free human being, bro. Like where did my rights go? Like bro, this, like, so basically what I'm saying is school time is still your time. And the other point I was trying to make was, your weekends are your times to get ahead, bro. Like everyone else is relaxing, bro. Like I'm just saying, like, what are you relaxing for, bro? Like life is a game. Like why are you not using that time for yourself? Like that is literally the best time. Like that is literally the best use of your time to grow yourself. Like I don't know, if you still think that like you should relax on weekends, then that just means you don't understand the philosophy, like my philosophy on why like you just like life max, bro. Like what the fuck. So anyways, a bit of a rant, but basically, okay, I'm gonna explain the next step, right? So now this specific tip really helped me a lot when it came to not procrastinating and understanding what is actually the most important thing to do in the moment. And it's called a workflow. So if you see here, so honestly, bro, just copy like everything I did here. Like put your daily routine like on the bottom here, and then just fucking copy this, right? And this specifically will edit it for yours, okay? But do work or do nothing, I'll explain in the next section. But right now, I'm going to explain this. So this is what I call a workflow. And basically, anytime you have so-called free time, which means, for example, the 2 hours before the 2 hours before I have school, I have free time. So what do I do in that free time? Logically, what is best is in like the order of all the work I have to do, in the order that is most urgent, right? So For me, that would be schoolwork that is most urgent, followed by YouTube and learn. The reason why is because, first of all, schoolwork has deadlines, YouTube and learning don't. But if I never upload a YouTube video ever again, then I will never get famous. But and I can like never read a book. Like I can always postpone reading books. Like, yeah. And the reason why, bro, this really helps me was because I realized that, bro, like I got to a point where I was just reading, and I was reading while procrastinating on YouTube and schoolwork. So like that really just made me realize too much of a good habit is actually a bad habit. When you're using good habits too much, you're actually procrastinating on the things you're actually supposed to do. So this is why workflow actually really helps me out a lot. And another thing I'll just quickly say is, even though like schoolwork is technically the first thing that you have to be doing, unfortunately, like it is the first thing, but that does not mean it's the priority of my life. It just means that it's the thing that's most urgent. Because like I'm not trying to be a geek and say like, oh yeah, but schoolwork is the priority of your life because that's why you should put it first. No, it's just because it has the most urgent deadlines out of everything you do. Okay, so you make this for yourself right now, depending on your goals and what you want to do, right? And keep in mind, this is different. This is work. Okay, this is work. What is work? Whenever you have free time, what do you do? Okay, so for example, let me run through what this means. At 7 a.m., if I have schoolwork, I should do work. That is logically the most productive thing I should be doing at that moment. Okay. If let's say it's on the weekend, by the way, I should explain this, put school/work because if you have a PA day or on the weekend, that's just free time to work. Okay. And also when you have free time during school, it is still free time to work because just because you're in school does not mean school owns your time, bro. School time is still your time. So inside of school, you're doing your work. And that means that if you have schoolwork inside of school, just fucking do it. But if you have zero schoolwork inside of school, then that means you're moving on to the next thing, which means I would be fucking scripting YouTube videos or like thinking of what ideas to do in school. Like I don't give a fuck, okay? Anyways, let me go back to what I was trying to say. Like in this scenario where I have free time, I'd be doing this. I don't even know what I was trying to say. Okay. But basically, okay, let me move on to the next point. First of all, if you have a bad habit of checking your phone all the time, then in your daily routine, or you can just set a daily reminder to do this, like you can just set an alarm to basically check all of your notifications all at once. Okay. So, for example, let's say at 5 p.m., you set an alarm, and that's when you just finished going to the gym or something, and you check all your notifications at once every single day. That would be perfect because now anytime you don't do that, like anytime you check your notifications outside of that one time, you would be coping, and like you realize this and you can catch yourself doing it, because this is I feel like one of the best ways to like reduce, like to cut the bad habit of just picking up your phone and checking notifications every few seconds. I'm not saying you have to do it only in one period of your day. Like I would say don't do it in the morning, because like why would you just like clog your brain with fucking information first thing in the morning, and the things that just not the things that you should be thinking about. Do it like maybe like just set like 2-3 alarms after, oh my god, after school, or like right after school or something, right? You can do that. That would really help me with cutting out the bad habit of checking my phone too much. Finally, when you're doing this daily timetable, keep this in mind. Always be looking for things that are like cues to bad habits. So basically, I wrote here is find specific habits you do and either never do them or break them. Yeah. So 2 examples of me doing this would be like I would always bring my phone to the toilet because I was bored. I would cope saying, oh yeah, but it's just one video, oh but it's educational or whatever. And then all of a sudden I would shit like fucking 2 times longer, and then I would like watch the video and then it would suggest me another one that's entertainment, and I just click on that anyways and be like, well, okay, I guess I'm watching that now. And all of a sudden I come out of the toilet and I'm still watching, and now you're completely fucking off the protocol. So now basically, in what I did to cut this bad habit out was to say like, okay, you're not allowed to fucking bring your phone to the toilet ever, ever. Okay, and if you ever do, then you know you're coping. So that really helped me. Another one was eating without watching anything. So I always eat lunch or dinner and bring my phone or something and then watch something. And all again that would spiral because all the copes, like once you let yourself cope once and you buy into it, it's over, bro. Like 4 hours gone, like bro. So yeah, just catch those specific moments when you're doing your daily timetable, which I'll explain in the next section. Um, Basically, you're trying to break these bad habits, and there's 2 ways you can do this. One, you can either never do them. So for me, I can just never bring my phone to the toilet, or I can never have my phone out while eating, right? The other way is actually, if you have to do it, then you have to break it. So for example, an example would be like, I would always sit down on my computer chair, and every time I did, I would have the habit of pulling out my phone and playing games. Okay. But I can't just stop sitting down on my computer chair. So that one, I just had to fight the urges and do stuff that I'll talk about in the next module, or like the section.
Okay, finally, the full protocol, the long-awaited section, right? So this will outline everything that you are allowed to do and like should be doing on my dopamine detox protocol, okay? And if you followed all the advice, you like for now, you should have everything set up. You shouldn't need to go back to any section to like make like daily timetable or anything, okay? So the first two things, number one, use YouTube like Google. So basically, I always like, since if you've already cleared your search history and also downloaded Unhooked already, YouTube should never have anything good suggested unless you go to your subscriber history, okay? So you're not allowed to go to your subscriber history, but you're only allowed to search for specific YouTube videos that solve your specific problems, or go to a specific creator which you know will solve your specific problems. So yeah, that's the only two things I'll allow with you for YouTube. And by the way, you're only allowed to use YouTube if you're done your workflow all the way to the learning period, right? The second thing is you should already have deleted Instagram. The rule for me was basically keep Instagram deleted until you have zero desires of watching reels pop up in your mind. And that should take probably about 1 to 2 weeks. So that means, I know that you might, because like if you downloaded Beeper doesn't have the ability to follow people. So for the next 2 weeks, you won't be able to follow people. Just deal with that. Or maybe you can just download Instagram just to follow the person and delete it again if you really need to, okay? That's the rule. Keep Instagram deleted until you have zero desire for reels. Until then, and when you download it again, still keep using Beeper. Just have Instagram like not in the home screen, just hidden away in your app, so that if you actually need it, then you use it. Mainly use Beeper. Like that's the strat that I use, okay? By the way, it should be pretty obvious by now, you should only have like no instant gratification activities, only delayed gratification activities, ones that you know are actually benefiting you. When you create your daily timetable, you align it to the goals you set. So basically, when you set goals, you should have a pretty clear understanding on what is the actionable steps that you must take in order to achieve those goals. And then you slot those into your daily timetable, so you don't need to worry about like if you're gonna achieve your goals or not, because if you just do the actionable steps, you'll get the result anyways, okay? Those are the delayed gratification activities you should be doing daily. Everything else, like you already know, like video games, like, you know what I mean? Those things are not allowed on the protocol. And so the biggest rule for this protocol is the simplest. just follow your daily timetable. Now, of course, if it was just that simple, we'd all be fucking dope, like, we'd all be free from all our bad habits, but it isn't. So I'm gonna talk about 3 different problems you're gonna have while following your daily timetable. And number 1 is the biggest. I don't wanna work. No one does. Why? Because we fried all our dopamine from hyper-stimulating activities. I remember the first day that I was finally free and got 0 hours of bad habits in a single day was the day after I played 9 hours of fucking Roblox. 9 hours of brain rot fucking tycoons of like, I don't know, like tower defense or some shit, right? And I had absolutely zero motivation. And the thing is, that day was the day before an exam. Meaning, for the entire daily timetable for that day, it was work or gym, right? And then go back, like shower and then work again. And the work was schoolwork because it's the first thing in my workflow, right? Meaning it's either study, like that was like my entire day was just study, okay? And how I went through this, okay, by the way, let me just say this now. My principle with the dopamine detox is absolutely fucking brutal. It's do work or do nothing. Meaning, do work is follow daily timetable. If you don't want to follow daily timetable, you fucking do nothing. You sit there and you stare at the work you're supposed to do until the boredom is so bad that you'd rather do the work than do nothing. That's the brutal thing. And now imagine me in that scenario where after 9 hours of fucking Roblox of frying my dopamine at the highest possible level, literally like fucking crackhead levels, the day after, it was either study or stare at my fucking notes until I feel motivated enough to study. That was absolutely fucking brutal. This is what I've been saying since the start of the video. This protocol will be absolutely brutal, especially if you are not busy tomorrow or today. But the interesting thing is, the more brutal it is, the more desires you have to resist during this period, the more boredom you tolerate, the faster your dopamine levels reset. So this is like, and by the way, I probably should mention this is why the protocol is do work or do nothing, because when you do nothing, you force yourself to be bored, and you first of all you train your boredom tolerance, which is a skill, and secondly, by being bored, you reset your dopamine levels because your brain gets used to less dopamine than obviously the hyperstimulating levels, which makes the dopamine receptors more sensitized over time. And what that means is basically when you're bored, you get eventually so bored that you're like, you know what, I actually want to work. So this is why do work or do nothing is my commandment for this protocol. And like, bro, it's absolutely brutal. Okay, so there's 2 things I want to mention. Number 1 is do work, which is like about do work, which is discipline. How do we actually be disciplined? And what is discipline? Discipline is doing work that when you don't want to do it. So basically, the main idea is discipline is a skill, and if you want to get better at discipline, you just have to do things that you don't want, right? It makes sense. Every single skill is just like you do the skill itself until you get better at it. So when you want to get better at discipline, which is the skill of doing things you don't want to do, just don't do things you don't want to do. And there's an interesting broken mechanic you can do, which is basically if you want to improve your skill of discipline, what happens if you want to do things you don't want to do? Like you start chasing everything that you don't want to do. Now, let's say, for example, you don't want to wash your dishes right now, but you want to increase your discipline skill. Knowing that you don't want to do it, you do it because you want to increase your discipline. All of a sudden, you want to do the things you don't want to do, which makes you better at doing things you don't want to do, which makes you like, it's just like a cycle somehow. Like our brains just, like, I don't know, it's maybe like a fucking glitch in the system, bro. Like if you want to do the things you don't want to do, all of a sudden it spawns like infinite motivation. Another thing that will really help you do with discipline, it's like the same thing as a study technique, bro. Like in like mentioned in other study videos, is just do the next step. It's called the zygotic effect, where when you start something, you do the first thing of it. Two things happen. Number one, your brain wants to finish things that started, and number two, you realize it's not even that bad of a task in the first place. So that really helped. Finally, understanding dopamine really helps me because how dopamine works as a molecule itself. Basically, when you pursue hard things, your brain releases dopamine. So knowing this, whenever you feel bored, you know that the cure to that boredom is doing something hard, which would make you more motivated. Now the catch is this paradox, because when you feel unmotivated, the best thing to do is to do something which requires motivation, right? So yeah, those three things really help me with discipline. The do nothing part is fucking brutal, and let me explain that, right? So in this protocol, it's either you follow the timetable or you do nothing. It's either you use discipline or you do boredom tolerance training, both of which are skills, right? For most of the day, like the first day that you actually try this protocol, it's probably going to be absolutely brutal because you're not going to want to do anything because your dopamine levels are fried. So most of the day you might just be doing nothing, but that is exactly the progress, like that is exactly the right move in the moment, because you need to be resetting your dopamine levels. At some point it becomes like those challenge videos where they do like 24 hours of doing nothing to reset their dopamine levels, but you're just doing it just because you can't even do the work anyways. So like do work and do nothing, it's just like, bro, it just links it all together, bro. Do you know that studies showed that, okay, there's a study that put people into a room and they locked them into this room with nothing to do. There was only one thing in that room and it was a button that if they pressed would shock themselves, okay? That study found that people would rather shock themselves than stay in the room bored with nothing else to do. That is how cruel boredom tolerance training is. Actually, doing nothing is literally the most brutal part of resetting your dopamine levels. And this is why I put it in the protocol, because number one, doing nothing isn't negative progress. And number two, it's also the fastest way to reset your dopamine levels. So the two options, do work or do nothing, are absolutely fucking brutal, bro. Yeah, I'm kind of getting off topic, but basically, look, you should already understand this. You level up boredom tolerance by being bored and tolerating it. Okay, so the second problem you're gonna face when trying to do your daily timetable is your urges to not do the daily timetable, obviously, right? We all have urges to do our vices. So how do we solve this problem? There's two ways I found. Number one is decrease the desire for the bad thing, and number two is increase the desire for the good thing, okay? So number one, the first thing to decrease desire is just use willpower. So honestly, like I've done so much research on like the ways people do use willpower as a skill, and from what I found, no one really explained it as actionable as I have, or I can, okay? Willpower is resisting, like willpower is not doing something you want to do, right? And to be able to do this, it's actually not a good idea to fight against your copes. So your brain will be like, oh, okay, so let's give you an example, right? It's gonna be at 5 p.m., you're gonna be tired after school, maybe you hit a gym, maybe not, and you're just gonna be like, okay, well, there's free time right now, maybe you're middle of like eating something, you're just like, bro, let's just relax. Oh, one video won't hurt me at all. It's just free time, not gonna be doing anything anyways. All these fucking copes in your head, and you're like, fuck it, let me do it. How do you resist the desire in this moment? Most people think that willpower would be like, for example, thinking against it. So here's like 4 logical copes that like actually don't really work, but I'll explain why, okay? first of all, instant gratification is never worth it. Second of all, you don't even want to do the bad habit anyways. Like if you analyze your bad habits, you'll realize that you just want real world things anyways. It's just that the virtual world tricks you into thinking that the virtual satisfies your real world desires, but they don't. Third thing, the enduring boredom is the exact progress that you need, because boredom tolerance is just a skill, and the more you endure it, the better you get at the skill. Finally, you can just remind yourself of the new identity you are, because you are a person that doesn't do this. You can say all those four, there aren't just four, these are just four I came up with. You can say all those four logical copes against but only one video won't hurt me anyways. You can use it all four. But me personally, I found that it didn't really work. And why is that? It's because when you try to fight against your copes, you're putting energy into it. You're putting energy and focus into the bad habits, into the copes, into the thing you never even wanted energy in the first place. The more energy you put into something, the more focus you put into something, the more it gets reinforced in a sense. And so, me personally, my brain would never win against me, like against these logical copes. Sometimes they would, but over time, I'd logically win and then still do it anyways. They're like, oh well, fuck it anyways, bro. Like, let's just fucking watch YouTube while eating. So that did not work for me at all. Logically coping against my copes did not work. What truly did work, and this is what I think willpower should always be for most people, is just turning off the desires, turning off the thoughts. Just don't think about it. So in meditation, like when you meditate, meditation is this practice of basically pulling your focus back to something that you're trying to focus on. For example, your breath or something, right? You hear or you think thoughts, you ignore it, and you steer your attention back to the thing you're trying to focus on. This is exactly the same process in which I think willpower should be used. You delete the thoughts by just ignoring it. You think, you're eating right now, right? And then you think, well, I guess watching one video won't hurt anyways. Just delete the thoughts, just click, like boom, go out like that. Just focus back on eating. That's the true way to do willpower. I think this is the most actionable way I've ever heard of someone talk about willpower as a skill. Again, you probably already get the memo, but basically you level up your willpower skill by doing it over and over again, by resisting more desires, okay? Now, what I'm gonna say next took me so long to realize. Again, we're gonna increase the desire for what you actually truly want. And we do this by actively recalling our goals and visualizing the end results. So you should already have goals, right? Those goals should be big enough so that when you look at them and you can visualize the end result, you'd actually feel motivated. And this, by visualizing these goals, increases the desire for like working hard in the real world, right? This is how we can distract ourselves from the things that, like, from our vices, right? The first day that I really tried nailing this protocol down from like the full day onwards, I really, really struggled with willpower. I think everyone else would agree with me. When I only used the willpower technique of just turning off the thoughts, it didn't work. Like, it lasted maybe like fucking 5 or 6 hours until eventually I just gave out. When I combined that technique with basically every time I think thoughts of wanting to like log out, I delete the thoughts, and then I combine that technique with the second technique, which is I actively recall every single goal and then visualize it. That is how I truly came out of my ruts. So let me walk you through how I actually truly did this, right? So for example, maybe I'll just use the same example. I was eating lunch and then I wanted to watch YouTube, and then so turn off the desire, focus back on eating, and then I actively recall my 4 goals. So I want 95 average. I visualize getting into the best universities that I want, the end results, having so much fun in the future. 100K subscribers, I visualize literally the number of subscribers on my YouTube page and making more money, right? My third goal is actually progress in all calisthenic skills. So I visualize hitting the fucking planche, hitting front lever, like bro, at that point, like hitting handstand push-ups. At that point, bro, I'd already like completely forgotten what I was used to think about. And my final goal is just read a shit ton of books. So I just visualize me being like the fucking smartest person in this entire world. Like, yeah. Anyways, actively recalling and visualizing the end results of your 4 goals, or like of all of your goals. At that point, bro, the desire is already gone, right? And because you visualize these results, because your brain kind of doesn't really know what is real versus imaginary, you visualize like you making all this progress, you suddenly become so motivated. Because I think I read in a book, progress is the greatest motivator to people. And I completely agree. I low-key like progress more than novelty. Like, yeah. Anyways, that is how I finally fixed the problem of willpower. I deleted the thoughts. Every time I did have a thought, I actively recalled all my goals. And I literally did this probably like 30 plus times on the first day I actually tried fully doing this protocol. After the day I played Roblox for 9 hours straight, bro, it was absolutely fucking brutal, bro. I actually fought hell. Like, yeah, you're gonna see what I'm talking about, right? The third problem you might run into is that you forget to follow the timetable. Maybe after school you just went home and you realize, oh shit, wait, I forgot to go to the gym. The way to solve this, because I feel like one of the biggest ways to actually successfully do a dopamine detox is to fully obsess over it and like really think about it 24/7, is to like two things I actually did was, number one, set my phone wallpaper to my daily routine. I can't show you because I'm recording on my phone right now. And number two is have my daily reminder, like my reminder document, which is like the daily routine, have it open on my computer 24/7. And that way, every single time I open my computer, I'm just thinking like, and I just check currently what time it is and like look at my daily routine. Am I doing what I'm doing? Yeah, okay. Like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Great, okay. And that constantly reminds me of the new identity I built myself too. Let me quickly tell you about my experience hitting this protocol. And basically the reason why it will help you is because you'll realize that it's actually like there is light at the end of the tunnel. Bro, the first day you actually hit this protocol, bro, like you will really understand what I mean by like your dopamine receptors are fucking fried. Like you feel like you're withdrawing from fucking drugs, bro. It's really bad when you like hyperstimulate yourself, especially if, like, for example, in my scenario, I played Roblox 9 hours the day before, bro. It's just crazy, bro. I think, bro, maybe even like doom scrolling would be worse than me, bro. If you doom scroll 9 hours the day before this protocol, bro, like I fucking like hats off to you if you're truly successful, right? But here, I call it the withdrawal phase because like any addiction, there is a withdrawal phase, like, yeah. And basically, bro, in my personal experience, I completely raw dogged it. So I know a lot of people talk about dopamine detox or like how to quit any bad habit through progressive deloading. So just as in the gym, you would progressive overload by every single week adding more weight, getting stronger, and then getting used to that weight so you can add more weight. The same thing is, like, you would, for any bad habit, it would make sense that you want to go slower. Like, maybe one day you played 6 hours. Now, next day you play 5 hours, and then 4 hours, and 3 hours, 2 hours, once, and then eventually you get to 0. Me personally, that never fucking worked. I tried it, and it's just like, no one plays fucking 1 hour video games a day, right? Like, you can't play 15 minutes of video games in a day. Like, at the lower numbers, you're just fucked, bro. Like, it's so hard to balance this stuff. It's just like drugs. Like, bro, would you would you progressive deload drugs? No, you would not. You would not be like, I don't know the doses, but like 5 milligrams of meth today and then 4 milligrams tomorrow. Like, bro, that's fucking brain dead. These things are so addictive that, like, if you have to just, in my opinion, the best and fastest and easiest actually way to cut it out is just to raw dog it, cut it out entirely. So that was my personal experience, and I completely cut it out. 9 hours of Roblox, day 1. Day 2, fucking 0 hours of bad habits entirely. 0 YouTube entertainment, 0 games, 0 everything. I literally just sat in my room and stared at my computer, either studied or stared at my work. Do work or do nothing, bro. That was my experience. And me personally, for the first 2 days, I fought fucking hell. I probably already mentioned this before. Specifically, to give you hope, it was only the first 8 hours of resisting desires, of using willpower, deleting thoughts, and actively recalling my goals. It only took me like around 8 hours until eventually the desires way died down. First 2 days are like hell. After 1 week, 90% of my desires go away. So all of a sudden, even though you build up all this willpower, you actually don't even need it anymore. It just gets, look, past day 2, past day 3, bro, it's all like, it's easy, bro. Day 1 is like fucking like 10 out of 10 difficulty. Day 2 is like, I'd say 8 out of 10 difficulty. Day 3 is like a fucking 3 out of 10. And past that, bro, like, because your desires go away so, like, your desires like drop like that immediately. And week 1, 90% of your desires go away. Me personally, like, maybe it's different for you, but me personally, I've heard that like, bro, gooning desires just take like way longer, like maybe like a month to go away. But I didn't have a gooning addiction, like, luckily. And for me, week 2, almost all my desires go away. Past week 2, bro, it's free. Literally, there was just no desire to do bad habits anymore. I actually aligned my brain to my self-image, which is perfect. That was my personal experience with this fucking brutal protocol. I think yours should be pretty similar. And if you truly actually make it all the way through, I have my complete hats off to you. You are actually a fucking human being. Like, you're not an NPC in this world. Like, I actually respect you. The final thing I want to talk to you about is what happens if you fail. Because I know for a fact, bro, I tried dopamine detoxing, like getting out of my ruts, for the past 3 months. It was only until after I figured out all these willpower techniques and stuff, like specifically actively deleting the thoughts and actively recalling my goals. That was the 2 bottlenecks, the only actionable steps that I truly needed until I finally got rid of my habits. If you have all these actionable tips, maybe it won't take you 3 months. Maybe you might fail for the first like 1 or 2 days, and then you get it. Cause I don't know, like I don't know, like I haven't been like really fucking down bad in a long time. I don't know, maybe like progressive overload, maybe it is required to cut a bad habit. Me personally, I just raw dogged it though. But anyways, either way, you might fail. And if you fail, just don't think of yourself as losing all of your progress. So if you do this protocol thinking that every single day you do a detox successfully is a streak, you're building the wrong image of progress in your mind. Because just because you detoxed for like 3 days in a row and then failed on the 4th does not mean you lost all your progress. For example, if you go to gym 3 days in a row and then you forget to on the 4th, does that mean you lost all your muscle? No, you still built 3 days of muscle in the gym. It's the same thing with dopamine detox, because what? Willpower, discipline, boredom tolerance, all these are skills, and you don't lose your ability when you like stop training it for a day, or you unsuccessfully, like, you fail on a rep, right? So just stop thinking that like you lose all your progress. The past is out of your control. Don't put negative energy into like the bad habits, and don't hate yourself for messing up, because that will only put more focus on the bad thing, which means you're more likely to do it again. So just accept yourself for who you are. Accept the fact that you messed up before, or in your past you never knew about it, and now you like, just don't hate yourself, because you are who you are. The past is out of your control. Just focus on the present. Focus on what you can control. I think that's finally it for this video, bro. Literally fucking 7 pages of notes on how I truly did. You can probably understand understanding me now, I documented every single step of the way of my 3 months of getting out of a rut, all so that I can never fall into a rut ever again. Also to fix your addictions, right? Bro, if you made it this far in the video, you are the absolute fucking GOAT. You are a true fan, and bro, I'd just like to thank you, bro, for watching this video, bro. And if I change your fucking life, bro, like, come on, like, you might owe me a subscription, bro. So the last thing is, if you end up doing this protocol successfully, just drop a comment and tell other people like how you did, and like the fucking demons in your mind, bro. And yeah, I think that should be it for this video, and have a good day.